Hello and welcome to part 17 of my All Quests, All Endings Elden Ring guide. So, here we are with Seluvis. He's given you the Amber Draft and he wants to make Rani into a puppet, but we don't really want that to happen, but there's nothing you can do. Rani's too clever and she won't allow Seluvis to turn her into a puppet. Apologies for the train wreck that was part 16 of this guide. Hopefully things will go a bit more smoothly in this part. So now we've got the Amber Draft Potion, we're going to go back to speak to Rani. What you don't want to do is try and give her the potion, because she knows exactly what it is. And she'll be very cross with you, and if you keep trying to speak to her, she'll eventually just kill you. So make sure you say, don't give her the potion. It was brief, but I gave her fine service. So there you go. And she's given me the inverted statue. I've given her the Finger Slayer blade. So, this isn't Rani's quest done with now, but it's a good chunk of it done. We need to make our way back down here now. Then we're going to make our way back over to Seluvis's Rise, and because she realises we need to reload the area, so then we'll go back down to Seluvis's Rise. Schoolboy error there. Make sure after you've said don't give Rani the potion, then he's basically been killed, probably by Rani, I imagine. So you can take his bell bearing and his armour set, and we're going to go and see Pidia down at Corhyn Manor. So drop down here, drop off this ledge here, drop down, go through the hole, and you'll find that these are just standing around idly. You can pick up his bell bearing, and you've got a puppet from him, Dolores. And we're going to go down to Round Table Hold. Just going to turn in a few of these bell bearings which we've been picking up. And we can now buy lots and lots of bountiful things. But we're not going to buy anything just now. We're going to go and speak to Nepheli. So we've given her the Stormhawk that we got from the Chapel of Anticipation. And that's it for now for Nepheli. That's the main big thing done with her quest. We're going to see her again in Stormvale eventually. Hopefully you didn't give Nepheli Seluvis's potion, because we don't really want Nepheli to be turned into a puppet. So we're going to do a few bell bearing hunted now. So we go to Storm Hill, speak to Banal, make sure you bought any items you want. Then go to not this closest site to Grace outside the shack, but a nearby one, and fast forward time so it's night time. Then ride to the bell bearing, well, the merchant shack, Warmaster shack. Whenever you're hunting bell bearing hunters, you'll know that it's worked if the NPC is missing. So if Banal isn't here, we know we're going to fight that bell bearing hunter. Just going to proc madness so we can activate that buff. The most difficult one of these is in Caelid, but they're all, or possibly the one in the Shaded Castle. They're all quite tricky. Got some really nasty long-range attacks. Make sure you keep yourself healed. I like to fight these at a distance if I can. You've still got to watch out for that flying blade that does like a triple sweep. That's that one done, and that will give us Bone Peddler's Bell Bearing. So we can give that to the Maiden Husk and we can buy a few more items in the shop. We're going to go to the Church of Vows now. Well, maybe we'll ride down to another nearby Site of Grace. Then we can ride there in the night time, and we can get the next bell-bearing hunter. Just deal with him for a few runes. Then we'll make our way down here. This is the camp where we got Flame Cleanse Me. All important Incantation. If you missed it, now's a good chance to get it. You really, really want that late in the game. But here's the next Site of Grace. Eastern Cabland or something, I think. So we've made it night time. We're going to ride back to the Church of Vows. And hopefully Miriel, the giant tortoise, won't be there, and that'll mean we can do the bell-bearing hunter. Yeah, Miriel's there, so it's not weird. So just do a bit of dialogue there, and we'll give it another go. Walk back to the Site of Grace. Pass time until nightfall. Then get yourself back there as quick as you can. The one in the Shaded Castle is actually called Elmer of the Briar, and it's kind of a difficult fight because you don't have much space to manoeuvre. So again, do watch out for those nasty ranged attacks. Whether you can parry these, I don't know. I like to take them out with strong ranged attacks, but to each his own. If you've got a better way of dealing with them, feel free to do that. Lucky there, but that's that one dealt with. 2 bell-bearing hunters down, and that's give us the Meat Peddler's bell-bearing, and we're ready to move on. If this skeleton will stop being annoying, and he won't. So Stake of Marika, we're at the same place. We'll get the runes, get revenge, and then we'll get on to the next parts. Again, purely optional. Feel free to skip them if you don't want to. But we're going to go to here, the main junction in Altus Pleateau. And you're going to ride yourself down here. We're going to go and get the Godfrey's Icon Talisman, which is good for boosting skills, things like that. Feel free to skip those if you don't want to. There's a few demi-humans you can just deal with there if you want to. Again, feel free to skip. There's a stone sword key there if you want it. Well worth having. I always try and collect those because there's a lot of uses for them later in the game. We need to get down there, but you can't jump down there, it's too high, so you need to get on your horse and go around here. Right to the end, or down the cliff. There's a Stake of Marika down here, so it is easy to get back to if you need a couple of goes. And this is basically going to be Godrick the Grafted, but in an Evergaol, so use your stone sword key, enter the Evergaol. Prepare any buffs that you want to use. So that Melon status effect, Flame, got me Strength, Golden Vow, and the Cerulean Hidden Tear. Again, fight's very much the same as he did in Stormvale. Maybe a tiny bit more aggressive this time. We're going to give it another go. Going to add a bit of damage by using that and that. So already done 2,500 damage just in a few seconds there. Done another 3,000 damage. He's still hitting very hard though. That's done the poise damage, so we should go in for a critical there really, but it doesn't seem to work. Well on top of this time there, so just need to look out for those projectiles. Make sure we're healed up. Keep dodging, keep moving. Quite good range on some of those attacks. And we've just procced Madness at just the wrong time, but never mind. That should do. So there we go, we've destroyed Godfrey and we've got the Godfrey icon, which is a good talisman, very useful. Now we're going to make our way back to here, and we're going to ride up here. You need to get yourself a map fragment there, then speak to Brother Cohryn. And he'll give you some new sorceries, incantations to buy here, and give you a bit more lore. He's very keen on finding Gold Mask, he is. And if you progress his quest, the further you progress it, the better and more interesting incantations he will sell. Now we're going to make our way to this church here, destroy the dogs first, and we're going to wrap up Yura's quest. So apply any bus because we're going to do a sort of invader battle here. Speak to Yura. He was no match for Elanora. So you can grab that Nagikiba. You can get yourself that sacred tier. But Elanora is now attacking. Uses a lot of dragon incantations, which you would have guessed from if you've been paying attention to what Yura has been telling you. Shouldn't be too challenging to deal with. Obviously we're just using unendurable frenzy there. We've got Elenora's Poleblade and we've got Yura's Nagikiba. Two pretty good weapons, both useful. Poleblade's good for bleed builds. Now we're going to make our way over here again. As in all these graveyards, there's a few runes to pick up as you pass through. Get yourself over here. And I'm going to double check where we are. We're going to go back to here actually. Then we're going to ride up here. Feel free to skip these knights if you want, or kill them if you want the runes. It's entirely up to you. When we get here, you don't need to speak to the finger reader, but you can for a bit more lore if you want. Buy any items you want from the merchant. Recommend you pick up these stone sword keys and get this Sight of Grace. We'll be coming back here a bit later. That's a Forest Spanning Greatbridge Sight of Grace. Then we need to think a little bit about where we're going to go to get to the next part. So we're going to go to the old Altus tunnel. Right up here. Look out for the rats. This is the West Windmill pasture. Some tombstones you can use to get down there. There'll be a lot of soldiers around here. Ride this way. There's a carriage there, but I don't think there's anything in that one. It's abandoned. So now we're going to drop down here, and we're in the old Altus tunnel. Stone sword key to get in. Make sure you've got one. Use the lift. Don't do what I did and just call the lift and get off it. A couple of crystals you can grab there and you can drop down. Make sure you get the grace. Got summoning pool there, smithing stones. Make your way through. Clear everything out. Nothing here should give you too much trouble, really. A few dogs, a few of these mining guys, a few soldiers. Got the red bolt drake talisman there, sorry. more smithing stones. Then make your way back to the main room. Deal with those, deal with him, grab that. Drop down again. Got a couple of dogs to deal with. Troll's hammer there. Quite an interesting weapon. It's got like a kind of raw, shouty weapon skill on it, which does quite a lot of poise damage, but some things are immune to it, so it doesn't work on everything. It's well worth having a play with, though. So, we've come back, we've got a Knight's Greatsword there. That's just a RNG drop from the soldiers. Grab your smithing stones, grab any crystals you want, anything like that, then make your way down here. Deal with the dogs, deal with the miner, and pop back here. I'm just trying to find the way. This is the way. So there's the mist store. Quickly going to do with this boss. Make sure you apply any buff before you go to the mist store. Usual setup. It's a stone digger troll, so very much like the Limgrave tunnel. Unenjoyable frenzy. Vikes war spear we're using here. But we don't actually need to get the weapon out. It's him dealt with pretty easily. So we've got a great club there, another interesting weapon you can have a play with. And we should have quite a few smithing stones as well, so that'll help you to upgrade your main weapon. Might as well deal with those. Pick up a few more runes while we're here and some smithing stones. And we're now going to teleport to the Forest Spanning Greatbridge, and then we're going to go through here again. Now we need to ride to the end. I can grab that dragon rune grease. Then we can speak to Gold Mask, I think, or no, we need to go back to here again. Now we've seen where Gold Mask is, we can speak to Cohryn and tell him where Gold Mask is. And he'll be very happy because he's been looking for Gold Mask for a while. So he's going to head there and he'll give us some more incantations we can buy. So go back to this site of grace, take the teleporter, right to the end. Gold Mask won't have much to say to you, but Cohryn will be very happy. And he'll give you another incantation you can buy, which is quite a good one. I believe this is where he gives you the gold spinning discs incantation. Very popular PvP spell, that is. So that will more or less do us for this episode, I think. So thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you again in part 18.